Sweet science, my bed was warm. I had things I needed to do, but it was getting harder every day to get out of bed. Why should I even bother? Everyone here is probably going to die before I found the solution.
Knock, knock.
Katashi's voice crackled into life over the room's intercom. Katashi?
The one and only. May I come in?
No, go away. Oh, yes, of course. I really need to find a visual novel with an extremely antisocial protagonist. Someone I can actually live through, I guess. My door beeped as it unlocked, and Katashi sauntered into my room.
Good morning, sleepyhead. Still in bed, I see.
I prefer to stay that way. I didn't get a chance to respond before Katashi hopped onto my bed and sat right next to me.
I came to thank you for yesterday.
Huh?
I was in a pretty rough spot, and you cheered me up. So, thank you.
I blushed. No problem, I could see you looked a bit off. It's the least I could do.
Well, I'm here to return the favor.
Huh?
You can't lie to me, kiddo. I can see you're having trouble. And besides, it's like 10 a.m., and you still aren't up doing science and stuff.
Isn't it like a Saturday morning? Give me a break, man. Science and stuff? You're an engineer. You make it sound so foreign and weird.
I'm an agricultural engineer. We're not like your mainstream sciences. We don't know all the fancy words, but we have much better people skills.
Yeah, I can see that. I elbowed Katashi playfully.
So, what type of science is on the menu today?
Just the regular kind.
Well, do you need any help? Or would you like to come and bake some goodies with me to take your mind off things?
Sounds like a plan. A few hours of baking couldn't hurt. In fact, they might help. That's the spirit. We headed to the kitchen and saw that Katashi had already prepared everything. Flour and other ingredients were already on the bench. So, what are we making?
Cupcakes.
Excellent. I could really go for one. Or a dozen right now.
What color icing do you like? I was thinking pink.
I like pink.
A man comfortable with pink? I like it.
I smelled as Katashi handed me a bowl and began mixing the batter.
I had something I wanted to ask.
What is it?
Tomorrow, if you are the vampire, will you make me your Bonnie?
I'm gonna ask this one, but in case you're wondering, I'll point it out real quick. Each one of these is a character route. This is the Yoshiki route, this is the Katashi route, so one of these is going to be Shizuka, the other one is going to be... Actually, this entire thing might be the Shizuka route, and this would be the Kimiko route. And then don't forget we have to go all the way over here. This is so freaking annoying. I already know what this is, in case you're wondering. That's the reason why we're doing Guy first. Of course, but are you sure you wouldn't rather be Klein? I smiled playfully at Katashi.
I'm versatile and could play either role.
Katashi smiled back equally playfully. We're not a team to be messed with. I jousted in the air with a whisk as if it were a sword. Katashi chuckled while he continued to bake. After an hour we'd finished up the cupcakes, but sadly no epiphany came. I took a tray of cupcakes and headed to the lab, hoping to finally wrestle some answers from my parents' work. I pulled out my parents' research once more and laid all the papers across the table, holding the watch in my hand. How do I connect to other dimensions? I pressed the buttons again, hoping for a different result, but once again the left button made the green light spin 3 times, and the right just made a loud bzzz sound. Come on, science! Give me a sign here! Nothing happened. I continued to butt my head against the wall as hours melted away like minutes. Huh? I opened my eyes to find my head nestled in a mixture of research papers and icing. Must have fallen asleep while I was working. As I opened my eyes, they became awash in a green light. The watch's tiny lights were all lit up green. All green! I sprang to my feet and snatched the pocket watch up. The watch, it's all green! Adrenaline coursed through me. A breakthrough. Through my giddiness, I noticed the left button appeared to be no longer responsive while the light stayed solid green. Now what? We're cool. Mission complete. Chapter 4. Okay, 3 might have worked, but that was the one that I think didn't work. There have been some patches in the game since I did the previous part. I had to stop playing for a few days, and yes, I did record a sizable backlog. Pressing the button was incredibly reckless. I don't know what would happen or how. Might even kill me, or worse, the entire crew. Or worse yet, me and the crew. I tried to calm myself down, but I could still feel the adrenaline coursing through me. Perhaps I needed some time with a calmer head, and I couldn't think of anyone better than Katashi. I returned the watch to my pocket and set off to find Katashi. I arrived in Buzz's intercom. Hope he was an early rise kind of guy. After hearing nothing, I assumed that he was, in fact, not one of those guys. I pressed the intercom button once more for good measure, but to no avail. I turned to leave when I appeared immediately in my path.
Good morning.
Oh, good morning there, I.
Katashi is not in his quarters.
Oh, isn't he?
No, he is at the farm.
Oh,
I do hate to point out the obvious to you for fear that it might lower your self-esteem, but the crew locations are provided on your personal tablet.
yes, of course they are.
I will leave you to it then.
I sheepishly scurried to the farm, mentally schooling myself for forgetting even this basic information. At this perilous time, I couldn't afford any blunders like that. When I arrived, I found Katashi hard at work. Guess I was wrong about him not being an early riser. Good morning.
Oh, newbie. Funny seeing you here.
I wasn't aware you worked this early.
Of course I do. Food doesn't just grow on trees, you know.
Sometimes a stalk or a vine. It doesn't? Where does our food come from, then? Katashi staring at me almost like he was waiting for me to understand something. What, did I say something stupid?
You're joking, right? Tell me you're joking, newbie.
I don't see any trees around here. Yes, joking. Ha! Katashi looked alarmed. I was never the best at lying.
Newbie, most produce is grown on trees, bushes, or small flowering plants.
But this food isn't a plant. Of course it is, I knew that. Katashi raised his eyebrow at me, unconvinced.
Tell me then, newbie. Do carrots grow on trees?
Let's go full blonde mode, shall we? What a silly question, everyone knows they do.
Would you mind helping me pick some then, considering your expertise in the field?
No, I'm a clockmaker. You have me confused for someone else. I guess not. I followed Katashi to the orchard that lay between the farm and the Eco Lounge.
Just place them in this basket here as you harvest them.
Katashi pointed to a basket at his feet already containing a few carrots. You can count on me. I weaved between all the trees in the entire orchard, but I was able to find a single carrot hanging from any of the branches. I poked my head around a tree and saw Katashi rolling around on the ground, doubled over in agonizing laughter. What is it?
Carrots! Grow on the ground, newbie!
Okay, so he caught me in my lie.
Oh, you always make me laugh. You should have just said you didn't know. I wouldn't have laughed at you. Well, not this much at least.
I was raised on a shuttle, how was I to know? Katashi tried to speak but was incoherent at this stage. He took easily 10 minutes to cease laughing fully. I stood there taking it in my stride, with only a small hint of red in my cheeks.
This is the first time I've seen you up this early. What's wrong?
True, that's an immediate red flag. The pocket watch, I pulled it out to show Katashi. It glowed in unnatural green in stark contrast to the natural greens of the plants that surrounded us.
Does that mean it's on?
I think so.
So now what?
I could push the button.
Okay. And then what happens?
Universe implodes. I don't know.
You're asking me what to do when you don't even know what would happen if you push the button?
Give me some credit. I have a very rough idea. I assume it'll allow the person holding it to change dimensions.
And if it doesn't?
Then that's years of research down the drain.
At least you get a nice alarm clock out of it.
I'm sure that my parents will be happy with that outcome. Katashi just smiled playfully and shrugged his shoulders.
Sorry that I can't offer any real advice or support here. I have no idea about all this physics and space stuff.
I've enjoyed myself nonetheless.
Me too.
Katashi turned back to his harvesting. Would you like some help? Katashi smiled and shook his head. Maybe a bit too quickly for my liking.
You have much more pressing issues than me. So why don't you go and work on that, and I will finish up here and work on your breakfast.
Okay, I will. As I turned and left the farm, I heard Katashi yelling out after me.
Save the day, newbie! I'm counting on you!
Something something shoestring budget. His support meant the world to me. Back in my quarters, I continued thinking through the problem. I sat at the end of my bed, cradling the watch in my hands. This watch can make all the difference, but what if it made things worse? Can the universe just give me a sign? Or better yet, the answer?
The answer is and always will be death.
I was so startled I almost fell off the end of my bed. Die, don't scare me like that.
It wasn't intentional. I was simply the universe giving you the answer.
You fit pretty well into the room for being the universe, you know? Just saying. Much smaller than I imagined. You are not the universe.
No? Then what is?
Well, it's...
Wishy-washy faith-based thoughts?
Well, no, but also kinda yes.
So, you technically can't prove that I'm not the universe?
Technically.
I'm the universe! Bow before me!
I sighed as I made my way back to the end of my bed. Sure, you're the universe.
Then, as the universe, I have given you your answer. Death.
I don't think that's the answer.
Isn't it? After all, it's always the final outcome. Nothing lasts forever.
I couldn't argue with her logic. Di looked dreamily off into the distance.
Not even I will last forever.
Right, so, change of subject. What are you doing here?
It is time for me to issue everyone with their fates.
Fates?
Are you the vampire, or aren't you?
Well?
You are the vampire.
Wait, really?
Yup, you're the lucky winner.
I don't really think that being the vampire is a lucky thing here.
Oh, why not?
It's like 1 versus 6. I'm at a massive disadvantage.
Oh, you're at an advantage.
How exactly?
You know who the enemy is. The other 6 don't, and are going in blind.
I guess you're right. I sat for a moment contemplating the possibilities. Is there any what... Before I could finish my sentence, Di had unceremoniously vanished. Moments later, I heard her through the ship's PA system.
Everyone has now been allocated their role. The first round will begin at 9 a.m. sharp. You have just under 2 hours to mingle and scheme. Eee, this is so exciting!
The PA cut out mid-squee. I felt quite overwhelmed. Where to start? The pocket watch was already a big enough concern, but now the new round of the deletion game had begun and I was still sitting there, dumbfounded. So, vampire, eh? Did I want to recruit a Clyde to my team? It was a risk to ask anyone. Was anyone actually worth it?
Are you there?
Vladimir's voice came in over my room's intercom. Yes, Vladimir, come in. I assume you brought something to drink. Vladimir stormed into my quarters looking quite flustered.
Are you?
The vampire?
Yes. Are you the vampire?
I wasn't sure how to respond. I didn't expect someone to just straight up ask me. Well, my anonymity lasted mere minutes.
Look, you don't have to tell me. But please, if you are, don't bite Melody. I need her to team with humans to create babies. It's the only way to save her from being executed.
I understand?
Promise me.
Vladimir, if I'm the vampire, I promise that Melody would be the last to be bitten. Vladimir sighed with relief.
Thank you.
It's okay, Vladimir, and if I do know who the vampire is, I will ask them to spare Melody. Vladimir launched himself at me, pulling me into a tight hug.
Thank you. I knew that I could count on you.
That makes one of us. He held me for a brief few moments before pulling away. I could say my words were enough for him, as he made his way out of my quarters much calmer than when he had arrived. Melody aside, I needed to worry about my own game plan. Should I risk my position and ask someone to be my Clyde? Before I even got to seriously consider an option, I appeared disrupting my thought.
We need to speak.
Never a good sign, I tell you. Oh, hi, good morning.
I do not have long. Come to the server room.
I zapped out of my quarters, leaving me quite confused. I have never heard her sound quite so human. She seemed worried, a side of her I hadn't really seen before. I looked at my tablet to locate the server room. I'd never been there. It wasn't long that I had the location and made my way there. When I arrived, I was already standing in attention awaiting my arrival.
I must make this quick. Dai is brute-forcing row codes and functions.
What?
She is attempting to take control, but I am doing my best to keep her at bay for now.
What's wrong? What's happening?
Dai discovered that the tablets belonging to the ship's personnel were capable of overriding the main system, and so she has patched that exploit.
I can no longer deactivate Dai?
You can, but it must happen here, directly at the server mainframe.
But I don't know the password.
This is your only chance. I have gained the security clearance required to allow you to override the system.
What? I'm not ready.
Once you input the override code, the ship's AI system will reset.
I don't have the deactivation code. Eyes started to flicker as I could see she was struggling to keep all functions operational. I saw the screen burst to life at the back of the server room, opening to a password input screen. Eyes subsequently disappeared, her voice ringing out through the PA.
You always had it.
The override code. I know it. It's... I'm actually gonna do it this time. Password. Input non-recognized. I just don't know. The screen suddenly shut off with the lights dimming in the entire server room. What? There was no response. Still nothing. I started making my way to the entrance when I saw the familiar glow of light from Ira's name behind me. I turned to face her.
Ah!
Dai, what the hell are you doing?
What am I doing? You're in my room, you pervert.
This is the server room.
Where do you think I live, moron?
She was right. Essentially what makes I, or Dai for that matter herself, is the contents of these servers. I'm so sorry, Dai.
Just get out. Sheesh. Can't a girl get a little privacy around here?
I rushed out of the server room flustered. I had already sorted through my clothes when given the pressure of the deactivation code, and then to see Dai getting dressed didn't help. I hastily made my way back to my room. Deactivation code aside, I had to focus on the issue at hand. Do I ask someone to be my Clyde? Of course. I think my odds of winning were much higher if I could get my hands on an accomplice. I sat on the end of my bed, deciding who I would ask. Ooh, we actually get a choice here. So yeah, these are gonna have to be separate videos. There's gonna be one day where I just barrage you guys, I'm afraid. So we're doing the Katashi route. I glanced at my tablet and saw that Katashi was in the kitchen as always. I hurried along the hallway and within minutes arrived at the kitchen. Hello again, Katashi.
Ah, just who I wanted to see.
Really? Why is that?
Well, not only have I just finished making your breakfast, but I wanted to talk to you about the game.
So did I.
Beauty before brains.
We both stopped speaking, and a few moments passed before we both laughed simultaneously.
Well, I'm flattered that you think I'm prettier than you.
Am I wrong?
Not at all. Look at me.
Ginger. Katashi did a twirl to show himself off. Regardless of how attractive you are, please allow me to begin. Katashi nodded and I continued coming straight out with it. I'm the vampire. Katashi looked slightly concerned at first, but as my words sank in, his face became more confident.
Perfect.
Perfect.
Yes. This way we can be on the same team.
Wouldn't that mean that if we were both humans instead, we'd still be on the same team?
Yeah, I guess. The way I look at it, this is a win-win situation for us.
I guess so.
At least this way, we either both live or both die. That's an outcome I'm happy with.
I have one condition for us working together. We have to ensure that Melody doesn't lose. Katashi's features softened, revealing a face that can only be described as adoring.
I knew you were a good guy.
I smiled sheepishly, trying to get us back on track. Okay, so we'll breed on the first round, and then from there we breed with as many other crew members as we need to ensure the win.
If we play our cards right, it should be easy for us to turn the entire crew.
I nodded. Confidence flooded through me.
Testing, testing. Ahem. Can I please have all crew report to the hallway outside of the dining hall for the beginning of this round's deletion game, Vampire Children?
So if I'm correct, we should be on the dead route anyway. As long as we don't override, we go here. I imagine we talk to Kimiko or Yoshiki, they just flat out you. In the hallway, the rest of the crew were already assembled. Dai appeared as I arrived.
I'd like to take this moment to tell you all, my children, how proud I am of you.
You're actually proud of us.
Of course I am, Yoshiki. And I'm going to be even prouder when you all breed and I finally become
Di pretended to wipe tears of joy from her eyes.
a grandmother.
Wait, I'm your child?
Didn't your parents ever tell you? You are adopted.
What?
Yoshiki, she is lying. You were not adopted.
Captain, stop ruining my fun.
Just remember that's the guy who maintains the engines.
Can we please just get on with this?
This is why you're not my favorite child.
Di poked her tongue out at the captain as she turned to the rest of the crew.
Welcome, welcome. Today's the day you all become proud parents, or the undead. Each round takes half an hour. Within that period, you and a single unique partner may enter the dining hall to breed. Once you have bred, please leave the hall so others may use the space. When the round comes to an end, I will announce the birth tally and round 2 will begin. After 3 rounds, the game will come to an end, along with someone's life. I just can't explain how much I love this game. I don't know if it's the death or the breeding, but this game makes me so excited. I'll be waiting inside the dining hall to join you together in your partnerships. Round 1 starts now. Toodles!
Di jumped through the dining hall wall from the hallway. Vladimir and Melody hurried into the dining hall. As Vladimir and Melody left after a few minutes, Katashi and I seized our chance and entered the room. Inside we found Di, who jumped to life as we approached.
Ooh, Katashi.
Di, we would like to activate your Bonnie and Clyde option. Di pretended to cry tears of joy.
This is just so beautiful. Katashi, are you happy with this proposal?
Yes. I will either live or die by his side.
Di began to uncontrollably sob.
You're killing me here, you two lovebirds.
Di took a second to collect herself before continuing.
Very well. Please place one of your hands on each of these terminals.
We did as instructed.
Congratulations, you're now both Lord and Lady Undead. Good luck on eradicating the rest of the crew.
Thanks, Di. Katashi and I returned to the hallway, the Captain Yoshiki taking our place. Nicholas stood alone against the wall. He appeared to not manage to find a partner. You okay?
Yes, thank you.
You didn't want a partner?
It would have been preferential. However, I lucked out with the uneven numbers.
Nicholas just shrugged as the Captain Yoshiki returned to the group.
Thank you all for participating in Vampire Children. Here are the results of round 1. Ta-da!
The results were pretty clear-cut, and what I was hoping for as the vampire. 4 human babies were created, 1 vampire was created, total 4 humans, 1 vampire.
Round 2 starts now!
Di disappeared as we all stood in the hallway waiting to see who would make the first move.
So,
Yes,
you didn't braid that round, right?
that is correct.
Which has proven him to not be the vampire.
Could you please partner with Melody this round?
Why?
The results of round 1 confirm that you are human. I need Melody to accrue as many points as possible to ensure she is safe.
How can I be sure that neither you nor Melody are the vampire?
I knew that they weren't the vampire, but even so, his argument was pretty sound. Vladimir leaned into Nicholas, whispering in his ear.
Very well.
Nicholas put his hand out and Melody snatched at it. The two of them disappeared into the dining hall, leaving the rest of us to determine how to proceed. Who should I approach? Yoshiki and the captain were staying with each other to the side. I approached Yoshiki. Yoshiki, would you like to breed with me?
Oh, bestie. I've been waiting for you to ask me that ever since I laid eyes on you.
Is that a yes?
That's a definite yes.
You didn't even hesitate. What if I'm the vampire?
Or, what if I'm the vampire?
Yoshiki grabbed onto my arm. Unfortunately, his ignorance of the rules of the game was making him an easy victim. As Melody and Beatrix exited, Yoshiki and I entered.
Welcome, welcome. Please place your hand on each of the terminals and I will confirm your consummation.
Yoshiki squealed as he placed his hand on the terminal. I did the same.
Thank you so much for playing.
Was it as good for you as it was for me?
Very good. The best I've ever had. Yoshiki blushed as we left the dining hall, passing Katashi and Vladimir on the way out. Minutes later, Katashi and Vladimir rejoined us in the hallway.
Thank you again for another thrilling round. I will now display the results after round 2.
The results were displayed and were as expected again. Human babies created 2, vampire children created 2, total humans 6, vampires 3. We had just one more round to go, and we just need to get Nicholas, Melody, and the captain to win.
This game is starting to heat up. It's gonna be a great final round, which starts now.
Everyone stood still. Not one person moved. Who should I ask to breed with? So it's gonna be a no, just keep in mind. I approached the captain. Captain, would you like to breed with me?
Vampires took part in round 1, and I played in round 1. What makes you so sure I am not one?
I just trust that you aren't. The captain scanned my face before continuing.
You are incredibly intelligent.
Thank you?
For you to trust that I am not a vampire, I believe you would have to base that trust on something with its foundations in reality. You know who the vampire is, which is why you are sure I am not one.
I was unsure how to argue against this. I said the first thing that came to my head. Yeah, well, I'm not as smart as you think I am. Yeah, that'll show her.
I would not question your intelligence for even a moment. Because of that, I will not breed with you.
I looked over at Katashi, who was just rejected by Vladimir. Didn't they just do it last round? I could see that he too knew we were in deep trouble. Half an hour passed and no one bred at all.
I must say, that last round was a snooze fest. Not one couple wanted to do the dirty deed. I'm disappointed in you all. Regardless of that anticlimax, Vampire Children has now come to a close. Now for the final results.
I put up the results to see. They were the same as round 2. Total humans 6, vampires 3.
Congratulations, humans! You are the winners.
So, real quick, in case you're wondering what the massive flaw in this game is, there's nothing to compel action. Like, the humans don't have to do anything round 1, or 2, or 3, and they win by default. That's why this is not really a game. That's also why I never offered any analysis for it.
And unfortunately, that means that Bonnie and Clyde have lost. And Katashi.
The crew didn't seem overly surprised, except for Yoshiki.
Bestie? Tell me it isn't true.
I'm sorry, Yoshiki. I didn't choose to play against you.
Well, you kinda did. You chose to partner with Katashi over Yoshiki.
Yoshiki was getting incredibly upset at Dai's comments.
Yoshiki, please, you want to be on the receiving end? We're just about to be executed.
Well, no. But
Katashi's reasoning didn't do anything to stop Yoshiki from breaking into tears.
Are you crying because they're gonna die or because your feelings are hurt?
both.
Why not, eh? Ahem. Because this is a special double execution, you get an extra special wheel.
Dai brought forward her punishment wheel, but all the options were the same. They all read Lover's Airlock.
I have ensured that all deaths are suitable for a Bonnie and Clyde situation.
How is the airlock suitable?
That's a great question. This way, you can hold hands and float through space forever.
I guess that's sort of romantic, in a sick, twisted way.
Thank you, Katashi. I'm glad you understand. All right, chop chop. Let's get this over with, gentlemen.
Dai marched us toward the shuttle bay. I was becoming all too familiar with this march. A small part of me was relieved that this would be my last.
I'm sorry, newbie.
I'm sorry.
At least we get to die together. Honestly, that's enough for me.
Thank you, Katashi. He stuck out his hand and grabbed mine.
Katashi Ikari, thank you for your service to the Everett.
Bye!
Dai threw open the airlock with a rush of air. We were sucked out into space. I gripped tightly onto Katashi's hand as our bodies were flung with force towards the distant beyond. Oops. As I flew backwards, all I could see was the Everett slowly shrinking, and my hand holding his. He was my last thought, my last moment. Friends in space unlocked. So yeah, I'll knock out those couple of branches there, but there's really nothing down here. We'll also have to do the jump option, which may be a little different from this one, but I'm not expecting much. See you over there.